Controversial musician Naira Marley has broken the entire internet upside down because he is defending himself following the backlash that followed his public declaration of a fantasy he hopes to achieve someday. Okay? I'm even afraid to read this story on Nigerian. Naira Marley basically took to his social media page his story, rather, to express his interest in sleeping with a mother and daughter together someday. This supposed fantasy, however, did not sit well with some of his fans, as the singer gets attacked for publicly airing such disgusting take. In a series of tweets, Naira defended himself with claims that nothing stops him from making such a decision as far as it's legal and consensual.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, everybody knows Naira Marley is crazy. And for his fans to get angry, it doesn't make any sense. I agree with him. It's his choice. As long as it's consensual, you're not forcing anyone, you're not raping anyone, they agree. Do what you want.
For mother and daughter.
You're speaking from morals. I mean, he doesn't have morals, and that's in that take. So he's doing what he wants. It's for you that has a moral compass that can say, oh, that's wrong. But he's saying it, if they agree, it's consensual, they'll get in bed together and they'll do what they want to do.
That's just nasty.
It's nasty, yeah, but no one should come for him. They know he's crazy.
I think people are coming for him
It's a
because...
fantasy.
No, I think people are coming for him because this thing that he's doing is not just as simple, for me, it's not just as simple as a fantasy. I think he's trampling on something that's sacred, right? Like a mother and a daughter relationship is precious to many people. So you cannot deny that there would be a backlash from that. If you said two sisters, that's still a bit odd. Two best friends and stuff, but you know, I think two things that make the story big and mass. Three reasons. One, there's just some thoughts, fantasies, whatever, that don't need to be shared to the public, in my opinion. They just aren't. And this, for me, is one of them. Two, the fact that you are now in a very large scale, popular and influential, it makes it very wrong, in my opinion. There are a lot of things that people do, that people say. That's why you cannot know everybody on social media, because there are just some things that don't go on social media. If you have that kind of following or that kind of influence, I think it's really, really wrong and detrimental. It might look like it's because you have common sense. So you're saying, it's fantasy. You don't know how a lot of people are taking this. And it's just putting a lot of attention on women and the relationship between a mother and a daughter in a way that I don't think it's supposed to be. Third thing, I've forgotten my third thing. The sacredness of it. So the sacredness of it, the fact that he's popular and the fact that it's a public space. Those three things, for me, make it very detestable for you to do that. Like, it's like saying that, I don't even have any examples to give because I don't think that...
He's just saying it. He didn't put a video. I feel like Nigerians are hypocrites. Because if they actually had the courage, many people don't have the courage to post what they actually want to post. So when they see someone have that kind of courage or boldness to post what they want to post, it becomes a problem. Because many people have worse fantasies. People that are coming after him, ask them their fantasies. It is worse than what Naira Marley is saying.
I don't think the word for me is hypocritical. I think the word for me is decorum. Nobody is saying that you can't be yourself. But let's not lie. When it comes to public spaces, there are some selves that are not allowed. Let me tell you that one now. Yeah. If you think that you are allowed to just be whoever, no, darling. If you're a pedophile, keep that stuff in your mind and then carry yourself to the police station. Now, pedophile is
against the law.
It's not just because it's against the law. So if you are perverted in a way that is demeaning, keep that stuff to yourself. Being disrespectful or subjecting women to unnecessary sexualization. There's some things that are not against the law that are immoral.
That's it, immoral. You said it, a moral compass.
Yes.
But he doesn't have one.
It doesn't mean it's okay.
It's not okay. It's his page.
No.
For people following Naira Marley to see this kind of thing, they shouldn't be surprised. I wasn't surprised when I saw it. It's Naira Marley.
No, because you're Naira Marley doesn't mean that you can't be held accountable to certain things.
You can be held accountable, but then he can post it. And him posting it, it shouldn't be a shock because it's him.
Okay.
If someone like Timmy Dakolo should post something like that, everyone like, oh my god. But Naira Marley,
okay. Let's even go with your train of thought.
Yeah.
Because it's Naira, it's allowed. But does that mean that it's right?
It's not. It's not right. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that coming from Naira Marley is expected, and it is not wrong because it's his page. He can post whatever he wants.
I don't think you can post whatever you want. Who told you that?
As long as it's not against the law.
Excuse me, viewers and friends, you cannot post anything that you want.
As long as it's not
even Instagram has standards that are not illegal.
That's the rules
they have
now.
Yes.
As long as it's not against, this is not against the rule
bro,
now.
Law is not the only thing that binds us so as a society. Let's even get that out of the way.
Okay.
There's some things that are not illegal that are still wrong. Very wrong.
That's if you have a moral compass.
No, there are some things that there are laws and there's also rules and regulations. There are things that I cannot do in Plus TV that are not illegal but are wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
That's ethics. You're looking at ethics now. Morally speaking, there's something that you should not do.
You don't think that this lacks decorum?
It does, but I'm saying that it's like coming from Naira Marley. I don't think people should be shocked.
And what does that even mean? Has Naira ever encouraged incest or
incest, but
things like this?
He's a very wild person.
What's wild about him? No, I want to know. I want to actually know. Yeah, I want to know. What exactly do you consider him wild?
Don't you listen to his songs?
Okay, so he's sexual, he's provocative, and what else?
Of course. The way his song sounds, like the wordings, everything is wild. Were you at the last Naira Marley concert?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, that's why you're talking like this. It was wild.
And he encouraged mothers and daughters to sleep with him.
Of course, no.
Okay, so I'm just
saying his nature. Like when you look at like a person's nature, when some things happen, you shouldn't be so shocked because that is the way.
I don't think people are shocked. I think people are
Someone
irritated.
on his Instagram was like, "What kind of fantasy is that?" Like something like that. She was like, "What kind of fantasy is that? That is wrong." Okay, fine. You shouldn't question his fantasy. Okay,
you shouldn't question his fantasy. So
yes,
somebody said that I want to be with children. We should not question it. Or I want to be with
children is different. That is a minor. You shouldn't do that. That's against the law.
Okay, I have a fantasy to kidnap grown women.
If you're going to things that are against the law. If I say I have a fantasy to sleep with a father and a son, that is not against the law. That is my fantasy.
Yes.
Okay. So I have the right to post it if I want to. You can't do anything to me.
You're missing the point. It's not nobody is going to beat Naira Marley.
Okay.
It's not a thing of shock or he has done something illegal and he needs to be arrested. That's not the conversation. That's really not.
It's based on morals.
Yes, babe, and you have not emphasized on that at all. So I'm kind of confused. Is it that you think because nobody is shocked? Everyone is.
Some people are shocked.
It's not shock. People are against it. People are offended. That's the word. People are offended. People are repelling against her statements. But it's not a shock. Nobody is saying that I wouldn't have expected. Nobody has ever said I wouldn't have expected this from you. Nobody has said that. Everyone is saying, isn't that too far? Isn't that inappropriate? That's the word. Offense. Inappropriation.
I'm actually agreeing that it's ethically incorrect, but I'm not for the one that he cannot post what he wants. He can post what he wants.
My guy, you cannot post. See, don't let this girl lie to you. They'll block your Instagram page.
You can post what you want.
You cannot post what you want.
Not against the rules of Instagram.
That means that you cannot. That means that you cannot post what you want. You know, there are some. If the right. See, it's a clear example is the Ghanaian actress that posted what she wanted on social media with her son. That's not illegal. It's not illegal.
That was nudity now, Ife. Was it not her breast?
What I'm saying is the idea that you can post what you want is BS, babe. Because you cannot post what you want. There are rules and regulations. There are things that are offensive.
You can post what you want. Provided
so you cannot post what you
see.
You're talking you're making opposite statements in the same statements. If you say you can post what you want, but then you can't post what you want. You have to be careful with what you post. You have to be intentional with the things that you post. Even your body, for example, you're not allowed. I don't know why Instagram needs to change that, but men are allowed to put their nipples on Instagram. Women are not allowed to do that. It's not illegal. It's not immoral. Whatever. So Ideally, you cannot post what you want. Now, nobody is saying again, because it's a grown man, last, and he said what he said, that it's consensual. So nobody is beating him up to
But
say...
it's not ethically correct.
It's even improper. It's improper. It's improper. It's unnecessary. It's demeaning. Like, why do you need to post that on your story? And I think you're...
And who even knows? Maybe he was high. Naira Marley most times is actually high. Let's look at that. You know that, right?
And so that makes it okay?
No, it doesn't make it okay, but then you look at the person you're dealing with. See, it's Naira Marley, number one, he's wild. At that point when he was making that post, we don't know if it was high on something. He might have been. So, when you see something like that, I don't think his fans should be outraged. Oh, it's morally correct.
For me, this I cannot take that stance. And I can't take that stance with you and say he can post what he wants because of the influence that he has. And I think you're looking at it from a very mature point of view, and you can kind of disconnect everything and say that's just what he wants to say. When this guy talks, I don't know if you've ever met the Malians anywhere. Their influence is amazing. This guy has created a world of his own. And I don't know if you cannot see how detrimental these statements can be to mothers and women. For me personally, it's very dangerous. If you say, oh, I want to have sex with a mother and a daughter, whatever. You are, and allow me to take this thing very deep, because that's just me. But you are watering down the sacredness of that relationship. We already struggle with being very sexualized. People don't really value how to treat women and things like that. Mother-daughter relationship is supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to have some kind of don't touch that. Not even just mother-daughter, mothers in general. Do you know what I mean? Like what they stand for, it's supposed to be protected. It's supposed to be this beautiful, sacred thing. So again, putting that on your social media, you are, in a way, maybe he doesn't understand it, but if you don't, I know a lot of people that don't think like this would disagree with me, but there's people who think like that. The people who are going to see that tweet and feel like the position that a mother carries is no longer sacred, because it really depends on how you talk about things. That's why people don't talk about certain things, right? That's why people find it very offensive when you treat a pregnant woman a certain way, or you treat a couple a certain way, because there is certain things, certain positions, certain relationships that are sacred to society, right? And I think motherhood is one of those things. Adding sexualizing that kind of position, for me, is really dangerous. And the people that used to follow me around don't have sense. They don't have common sense. So I even feel like it's even worse. I feel like it's even worse for you to do that. For you to joke about sacred things. Because if you think that this is not going to penetrate into today's world, as in, they're not going to carry this mindset and put it into society and start making jokes at mothers and daughters, then you're undermining the influence of celebrities, especially Naira.
Funny how if he's watching this show, he might even be high. So what you're saying, he will not
it's
even
not
take
even,
it.
to be honest with you, I'm not even referring to
Naira.
I'm really not. I want people to understand why there are certain things that you just don't say because they have massive influence, right? If somebody said this on a tweet, you'll be, how do I explain it? It's like Naira and dreadlocks, for example.
Yeah.
From what we can remember with Nigerians, we've never really accepted dreadlocks. You can't really see that at a bank, for example. It's not something that in South Africa, you wear dreadlocks to work, you can be a pastor, it's part of the culture there. Naira having it has created a movement that has allowed more responsible people. Now we see people accepting that. You need to understand how massive his influence is, even with drugs, which is why he's chastised a lot. Because with drugs, he has never said no to it. And you notice that the kind of people that follow his account, the kind of people that abuse drugs and have drug issues. So he has an influence. Now,
and wild. Don't forget the wild part.
Yeah, very, very wild. So you see why women will have a problem if you are now trying to also pollute a beautiful thing like a mother and daughter relationship. Now, you saying that it's hypocritical, yeah, sure, but that's not the point of contention here. No, whether or not people think that, because let me tell you, people mothers and daughters.
Yeah.
There are mothers and daughters that exist that want to do that.
Exactly.
So that's that's what I'm saying. It's not hypocritical. Because nobody is saying that your fantasy...
But you can't really control what people post on social media.
No.
Now, it's for us to advise people to have common sense, to filter what makes sense and what does not.
The reason why I'm stressing on this is
Because
two
you
things.
can't really
I want people
control.
who have influence, if you watch the show, if you have influence, you need to understand that there's some things that you need to just put aside. To whom much is given, much is expected, including Naira Marley. Okay? And a lot of the times when he sees that his influence has gone south, I know he has done it many times where he's refuted those things back. Like,
True,
guys,
yeah,
this is not my intention to do that, whatever. So you have to understand, and you're not a baby to know that. And the difference between me and you is because you're making money off these things. So fans are like allowed to criticize what he's doing because your influence, who you are is really tied to the public and everything. So we're allowed to demand things from you. So I don't think it's out of place for his colleagues and fans to say, guy, this is actually detrimental. Not because we don't want you to be who you are. Is Naira Marley going to tell me that he's 100% himself on social media?
Of course not.
So why are you deciding
no one
to...
is 100% themselves on social media.
Why can't you not post certain things?
My advice for people is that just filter good from bad on social media because people are crazy. They will post what they want to post. And you can't control what someone posts. That's the truth.
Agreed.
Because most of the time, when people even make posts, they're actually high. So you can't just be angry and say, oh, this is bad. Filter it. Filter it because you can't control people, especially public figures. When you look at public, because they have so much influence and they won't really listen. Some people don't listen. So it's better for us to have common sense, develop it, and then be ready to filter.
But you that you're advising people for common sense and filter and all of that, why does that not include Naira Marley?
Okay,
because if he did that, we wouldn't even need to do your filtering and all of that.
Okay, Naira Marley, please, let's start to post ethically correct things on your page.
Please, I beg, post whatever you want to post, but when it includes sexualizing
but when
women,
you don't post ethically
for
correct things, people should be ready to filter. Nigerians should be ready to filter.
But you know
Americans,
that the masses can never. There are just some people that you need to spoon feed properly. And is Naira going to tell me that he doesn't know that?
He does. I'm telling you that maybe he was high when he posted that thing.
But even his response, was he also high? Because his response did not say sorry. His response said, guy, you people said I should be myself. And first of all, who said it should be yourself? That is some BS because Naira has always stood for that. Naira has always been himself. From when he even got to fame, the reason why he was so big was because he was supporting 419 people, quote unquote. He was being himself, unapologetically himself. Naira has never said...
But that thing that he said, you people said, I should be myself. Do you know there's this sense of guilt under that phrase?
Yeah.
Because he knows what he did was wrong and people will come for him and say like, oh, you people say I should be myself. Oh, okay, so don't come for me.
Because that's not true. Everybody knows that you're yourself. Everybody knows who you are. He's never been something else.
is one of the realest musicians in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. So absolutely, with his take on social, he doesn't necessarily have to follow the popular, tide or whatever. So that you people asked me to be myself is not true. I don't think anybody has ever asked him in this entire life.
Bro,
Please be yourself. So inappropriate. Mothers will feel very iffy about that kind of statement. Ask your friend group that you want to do that. I'm sure there'll be a lot of women. There are just some things that are not necessary to take to social media. But I have to agree with you at the end of the day, to each man his own. And yeah, it's not an excuse, but I know it's a reality that people are gullible and all of that. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for yourself and your thoughts. True. I just pray that this is not an excuse to sexualize mother-daughter relationships. That's my own. Yeah. It's not going to be funny. Moving on. Kendall Jenner has landed in hot water since, once again, over her 818 adverts, basically. Having launched a new advertisement for the distilled product, the Keeping Up with the Kardashian star was accused of cultural appropriation by many social media users. Kendall has since drawn criticisms from many on Twitter. One critic in particular argued not Kendall Jenner disabling her comments on the post of her appropriating her culture for tequila launch. Despite the heat, some people came to Kendall's defense. I wish Ife was here for this conversation.
Why?
Because Ife does not value the need for...
Culture.
He doesn't even... Yeah, he doesn't really... Yeah.
So what's your take?
Same thing I've been saying every day on this table. Like... we're not no man is an island.
Yeah.
We're all influenced by other people. The outfit on my body is not Nigerian oriented, right? That was influenced from something. So I understand that we're all interconnected, but there are cultural things that are sacred and valued, right? And for me, because the world is not balanced, where we have races and cultures that have been kind of categorized according to value. So the white culture and the white representation is top.
Yeah.
Those people have a bigger responsibility. For me, too much is given, much is expected. You have a bigger responsibility to understand your reality and also protect the minorities, except you're part of the problem that has even made that stupid hierarchy to begin with. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that black people are less than white people in certain places is because white people have allowed that. If you did it, it won't happen.
That's
Do you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
So each person has a responsibility to be careful with that kind of stuff. So when you are taking a culture, especially a minority culture, you have to be careful. For me, the way I avoid cultural appropriation, and I think black people in general, and even minorities in general, are just, because we're not exploitative, which is why we're probably not on top. No offense to white people. But, you know, because we're not on top, I think we always do this thing where we reference. So we've never said that it's ours. It's white people who do that a lot. That's where cultural appropriation comes from. Because if we have a kimono, for example, kimono that's trending now that we use Ankara to make, kimono in itself is not a Nigerian word, it's not an English word, it's a Japanese word, but keeping the reference.
That's true.
If we have weaves on, we don't call it Nigerian. We're not trying to act like as if we created it Brazilian hair, Indian hair. We make references to those things. When we take a culture like Thanksgiving, that Americans do, and we imply it here, so some families do that, we call it Thanksgiving. We don't call it Ajeje or something. We like turn it into a Nigerian word and act like it's ours. I see white people doing that all the time. You take cornrows that is for black people and you call it Kim K's rolls. My darling, Auntie Yabo has been doing it before your existence. It's not a Kim K roll. I tell you, African roll, so beautiful. I love it on me. Blah blah blah. Do you get what I mean? So for me, that's my response to cultural appropriation. There is nothing wrong with actually like a white person having dreadlocks on. Or in her case, I think it's the
video. She was like dressed like a Mexican.
Yes. What's the name of those people? Native Americans.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
But
so,
how is her case cultural appropriation? Because it's not like she said, "Oh, this outfit is from Americans or something." So how?
The way is that if you're going to wear that, Americans are very interesting.
Okay.
If you're going to wear that kind of cultural attire, why don't you get somebody who's from there? Because a white person.
Do you agree that
I don't
her
agree
case
to
is
that.
cultural appropriation?
I don't agree to that.
She's advertising
Basically.
a tequila brand.
Yeah.
Tequila, we know from the origin, is from Mexico. So if she wants to, and it's her brand, if she wants to represent, I think she can.
Absolutely. And also she's a model. So models are models display.
They represent different brands.
Exactly.
They wear different cultural attires. So you can't really call that
absolutely.
cultural
I
appropriation.
think if anyone wants to be if anyone wants to be chastised here, it's tequila. I think tequila has the responsibility to project their message properly. Yeah. Right? Which is why some people now are careful about diversity and all of that. So even when they have like gay people in a movie, they will now pick a gay person to act that movie. Yeah. I mean, do you? But I don't think if I'm a straight man who takes that role, I've done anything wrong.
Of course not.
Do you get what I mean? Because
it's called acting for a reason.
Exactly. And if you at all you really want diversity so much, I don't think it's the job of the actor. The person that's casting the crew should say that. So that for me implies that. But I'm not going to take away from the fact that Kendall does culturally appropriate.
She does. But this case,
sister, you do. But this time people are being very, very sensitive.
They're being very sensitive. I think because of her precedents, people are like,
absolutely.
What? No, please.
And also the Kardashians take a lot. They take
like when Kim K came and said it's Kim K Rose.
Why would you do that?
That time I was like, what?
They do. They take that thing a lot. They take from people a lot and they don't reference. I mean, Kim had to basically change the structure of her organization, change the name of her schemes because she used a Japanese word for the name and didn't reference that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a lot of people that use African context and stuff, but they're so they put it there like this is from Ghana. I love the fabric so much. I'm using it to like a white person. So I'm using it to do A, B, C, and D because at the end of the day, we're all inspiring each other, innit?
Yeah.
So, but making it your own and asking, and you because you have the influence to really like, because if I wear kimonos as a Japanese person, nobody really knows my culture. So they probably have never even seen it before, but it's important to me. But then if a white person or someone like Kim Kardashian and her family, who are right on top, now do it, people have never seen it before, so they will honestly like associate that kimono to them. You're stealing from me. True.
That's actually
and we cannot lie that culture isn't money. Like black people are making serious bar from our culture, from our braids,
we can't say
our
it's
aesthetics.
Ignorance or something. No, they are doing it intentionally.
Exactly.
They know that this is from maybe Japan or Nigeria, and they do not give us the proper reference. It's sad. I don't know. When will this stop? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know too. Anyway, guys, let's end the conversation there because it's Friday. And Kim Kardashian cannot come and stress us. Let's have a good time. I hope you guys have a good weekend. But please use the hashtag #TeaTime or Twitter.com/PlusTvAfrica. Remember that you can also catch up on all of our previous episodes, including this one, and our exclusive content by subscribing to our YouTube channel at +TvAfrica Lifestyle. You can also watch Tea Time on Arte TV and in London on Ben Television.